Hey guys, what's up? Wages World here, coming at you with a video. Today is March 15th, 2021. It's the Ides of March. If anybody doesn't know what that is, go look at your Greek history. It's interesting anyway, so go check that out. You know, do a little research on the Ides of March. It is really interesting. Anyway, again, this is my daily video here, guys. I'll try to keep it as short as I can, but we will talk about the Quebec power outage in 1989 because it has everything to do with the sun. I'll probably still do a live stream later on tonight. I just want to let people know that, but this one's I'm gonna try to keep this one as short as possible so people can get the data that they want to see, and if they want to come hang out with us later on today, you know, I'll add stuff into that live stream, anything that changes. And we can, you know, have a more laid-back stream. So, anyway, as we're looking at this, the first thing I see here, guys, and I don't think this is a natural occurrence. It's too sequential. And what I'm talking about, what I'm talking about is this. It happened over about a 2.5 hour time frame, and you can see how when it went up a hertz levels here. You can see it's very, very sequential. So nature doesn't typically operate in that manner. Okay, there's more of a randomness when we're talking about nature. So I think this is probably just a tool flaw of some sort, or a tool anomaly would probably be the better vocabulary word to use there. But you know, there's always an off chance that something could have been going on. You know, but I don't think it was nature. That's what I will say. So yeah. But as far as the rest of the Schumann goes here, guys, not much going on. There is still that background vibration going on. You can see it. It's kind of, you know, it's more, this is more of a lighter color overall. So that does lend to something more just kind of vibrating in the background, I guess you could say. So, yeah, not much more to say on this one, but so we'll go ahead and move on. Now, NOAA Prediction Center here. Space Weather Prediction Center. I showed you guys this geomagnetic activity yesterday. We got into storm level. We've seen an uptick again later on in the day on the 14th here. That was actually expected. That didn't get into storm level, and that, you know, so not much really to talk about here. But this one, you know, I was telling you guys they didn't expect the intensification of this, and they didn't. But they did hit the time frame right on. I mean, this is the hit they were telling us we were going to see. They just didn't get the intensity of it correct. That's all. And they were only off by one number anyway. So what did we get from this? Well, we got a lot of beautiful aurora. We did have a 6.0 earthquake down in the southern hemisphere, and I'll show you guys that here in a few minutes. But it's, you know, did that help cause that? Who knows? I don't know if it did or not. But regardless, that's not really much to be talking about, really. I mean, a G1 storm is a G1 storm. We don't see a whole lot from it. Now, I will, you know, show you guys that every time because it is storm level. So we have to understand that. But here's their predictions for the next 3 days. Nothing going. So what does that mean? Well, if we're down in the basement for too long, we're at risk for cosmic rays. So that's what we have to keep an eye on when we're too low. We want to kind of be in the middle, but we don't want to have the big G5 storm levels either. Okay? So that's kind of where we're at. Actually, right where we're hanging at right now is really a good level for us to be at. You know, so that's what we hope to see most of the time. But you know, unfortunately, we don't always see it like that. Now, first look at the sun here, guys. This is that coronal hole. It was over here yesterday, and it did look smaller. But it wasn't. This is probably still the same size as it was yesterday. The parallax effect is what makes that look smaller on the side of a sphere. And I've explained that before. But I don't think this has really grown all that much. But we are going to watch it because when it gets right in front of us, we will connect to it. And we'll get solar wind from it in 3 to 5 days after we connect. So we'll keep an eye on that. We will get some increased solar wind from that. I mean, that's what happens, guys. Okay. But as far as sunspots go, here's the sunspot that is probably the most healthy, you know, facing us right now. But it's stable. it's not doing any flaring, not that I can see. These down here, same thing. These are just active areas. I don't even think these have numbers. But we're going to watch this one as it crests over. It does look to be pretty healthy, pretty sizable. Okay, so we will, we'll keep an eye on that one. But this one here is right in front of us right now. These things can destabilize very, very quickly. Okay, so if it's right in front of us, we have to pay attention to it. Because if it does blow a flare, we're going to get some effects from it. I mean, it's directly right in front of us right now. So, but the name of the game right now with the sun, guys, is pretty much coronal holes. That's what's been giving us the geomagnetic storms. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. I'm not going to waste your time on the Enlil model. Not much to see there. We can look at the KP again down here. This is like a 3-day thing. Okay, you can see how we uptick 3 or 4 times here. Here's the storm, and then we're still in active conditions. So all that is just pointing towards we just need to pay attention. You know what I'm saying? So if we go over here to Discover, we see that the solar wind speed here, guys, it is above normal up to about right here. 3 to 500 is normal. Okay, always look at your range. But what's good about this one, I've said this before, is it actually gives you a number as we scroll across. We don't have to guess. Plus, it's more accurate than the ACE data that we get. That's why I don't show you guys that anymore. It's not as accurate. It's harder to read. All of that. I mean, it just... Now, Discover, I think, if I'm correct on that, they'll revert back to the ACE data if they're having issues with their stuff. The other sources of data. Okay? But for the most part, we don't have to worry about that ACE data anymore. This is just a much better thing to look at. Density. Okay, we're above normal, but not much. 4 is normal. I've seen stuff density up into the 30s and we never even got a geomagnetic storm out of it. So there's a lot of variables that have to come together to really give us a geomagnetic storm, a good hit on our magnetic field. The phi angle, which is the polarity of the solar wind. Away is positive, towards is negative. So when it's positive, it's moving away. When it's moving towards us, or when the polarity is faced towards us, it is negative. So that's just, I've been asked that question, but that right there answers it. Okay, so when the solar wind flips polarity, sometimes we'll get a jerk on our magnetic field. That's just what happens. And if we're getting geomagnetic activity already, sometimes it can intensify things. So the BZ is the angle that we talk about. We look for -6. If this ever gets to -6 here on the Discover graph here, they'll box out like a purple color. So we're not seeing any purple, so it never got into -6 or greater. This angle is very important to how hard things hit us, just so you know. I've explained that in the past. A lot of you guys probably already know that. And I will explain things also in the future. I will continue to do so the new people can understand what's going on. Temperature, kind of normal stuff. So not a whole lot, guys, going on in this area. Okay, guys, these are Magnetopause models. We are seeing just not a whole lot. Okay, we're just not getting a whole lot from the sun right now. So I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time showing you guys this because there's not a whole lot going on. The density, we can definitely see, the blue is high density, the white is low density. So you can see things happening inside our magnetopause, our magnetosphere, okay? You can kind of see things like right there, how, stuff is definitely, swinging back around and smacking us. So wherever that's coming from, I don't know exactly, but there's a lot of theories on what's going on with all this, and I just simply don't have a position on this too much. I don't know exactly what causes these things to actually rip around and smack us. But you can definitely see the density is hitting the backside. It's evident. Bam, you can't deny that. I mean, it's just visual right there in your face. So wherever that's coming from, that's what the discussion becomes around. But you guys can go research that on your own because there are so many different things out there to show people what's going on, and a lot of them are different ideas. So I would encourage everybody to go research that on their own. But there you go. So there's that. Now the pressure, same kind of thing. Okay. Right there you see the pressure hit. Okay, so when that did do that, up there was the density. You can see it happen in magnetic pressure here too. So, and then you see here on the back end, things kind of getting flushed out. And that's typical too. We need that flushing effect to get the density away. That's just what happens, okay guys? Sometimes solar wind is helpful, and that's what that is. It's going to flush away some of those denser particles, and it'll take away some of the pressure that we're experiencing in our magnetic field, okay? So yeah, so there's that. Now, geoelectric field, this is space weather's effect on our electrical grid. This model is still in testing phases and building phases. That's why you don't see this. This is a three-dimensional representation. This is a one-dimensional. This one is completed. I'm not sure if they're tweaking this one anymore or not, but this one's going to be really cool when it gets finished. It's already cool enough as it is. But when we get hit geomagnetically, this is trying to help us understand what's happening to our unnatural electrical components, like transformers, wires, all the above, right? But you can see it is kind of it's a little bit active. I mean, it's not horrible, but there is a little bit of a uptick right there. You know, typically when I show you guys this, it's really just this blue color. So as of late, we've been seeing a lot of activity. So yeah. Now the auroras, again, when we get geomagnetic activity, this is what we look. This is one of the parameters we look at, or one of the data things that we do look at, because this is a direct effect of increased geomagnetism, solar wind, stuff like that. This is the North Pole, South Pole. We'll let this thing play through, and just so you guys can see it, and you'll see them both reacting at the same time, which is exactly what they should do. Okay, but you know, as we take this on through, again, the auroras are a little bit more intense than just complete quiet conditions, but nothing real big right now. And I don't look for us to see anything for the next few days, just so you guys know. So this is ISWA. We can take a look at the sun here real quick, and let me pause these other ones. So let me zoom in here a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. Again, guys, I'm trying to keep these morning videos to at least 20-25 minutes, okay? I'm not trying to rush through, but I don't want to take too much time either, okay? I hope you guys understand that. As I'm trying to, you know, accommodate people that don't have the time, you know. But as you can see, guys, there is no eruptive behavior here. I'm running the model right now. See it? I mean, it's just not, there's just nothing going on. So there's not much to talk about when we're talking about right now on the sun. What we can talk about is what's already left the sun, and that's what I was showing you. That geomagnetic storm we got left the sun probably 5 days ago. So yeah, so we can look for this to happen. Now the 211 is going to show bigger coronal holes just because of the angstrom of light that we're looking at. Certain gases show up better in certain angstroms. Now again, they can assign this any color they want. We just can't visibly see this with our eyes. That's why they do this. That way we can actually see what kind of gases are hanging around, and it does show the holes. Now notice, like I said, you know, the one I showed you with the 193 angstrom, or was it the 195? They're pretty close to the same color there. But as we're looking here, this does look like the coronal holes and stuff are more apparent, but it doesn't mean that they're completely wide open either, because we got to understand that there's other gases there too. So just so everybody understands that. Okay guys, this is over at Seeds, and what you're looking at here is LASCO C2, and LASCO C2 is on the Soho Observatory, and it's a satellite that sits out in front of the Earth, and what it does is most of the time it just looks at the sun. And it's from our perspective. It's as if you went outside and looked up at the sun. That's really kind of the perspective, the angle of which we're looking at. The black is an occulter that they put there to block out the main light, so this thing can even give us any kind of imaging. Same thing over here on the red. This is the same exact imaging. It's just in different formats. Okay, from the same satellite, the same tools. It's on the same satellite. Is what I'm trying to say. As you can see, not much going on. There was a little puff right there of a little jet, but that ain't nothing, guys. I mean, yeah, I'm not seeing a whole lot here, guys. So again, not much going. Here's stereo A. It's the side view of the sun. It kind of gives us a partial view of the backside too. Stereo B used to be over here. It's still over there. We just don't get any data from it. Now, if you look at this, here is stereo A here. The Earth isn't 90 degrees. Okay, stereo A is progressively coming closer and closer and closer to Earth. That's what it was initially set out there to do, and that's what it's doing. So the angle is more kind of like here. I'm not sure the exact angle right now, but we're not just directly to the side. We're kind of here. So when we look at this, it's important to understand that, because when we do see stuff pop off the sun here, we can't be thinking that we're sitting right here, because we're not. Not from this view. We're kind of sitting down here. Alright? Just want everybody to understand that. Not that close, but that angle, that, from the sun. So, again, not much going on there. Okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end it there. Remember, guys, I'll probably come back on later on today, later on this afternoon into the evening, or maybe even late evening, and give you guys a live stream. That's kind of my goal here. I hope you guys get something out of these daily videos I'm going to be doing. I want people to have, access to this stuff. I'm also going to be putting together a playlist on how to navigate through some of these tools that I show you guys. So I want you guys to be able to go look at the observations for yourself. I haven't done a whole lot of that. I used to show you guys every little click I was doing and all that kind of stuff, and that got to be kind of long. And so I'm going to put together a playlist of stuff like how to navigate through ISWA. That'll be a video on its own. And that way you guys can understand what buttons to go over there and click and look at and see, so you guys can make the observation for yourself. And not rely on me or anybody else to tell you what you're seeing. Go research it for yourself, and and do it that way, because let's just face it, you're going to believe it more if you come to the conclusion yourself of what's actually happening. So that's what I encourage everybody to do. That's why I show observation, and I try not to interject too much of my own opinion. That's why. I have a very strong opinion on a lot of different things. But I'm not going to put that seed in anybody's mind. I want people to come to that conclusion on their own, the right way. And that's the goal. And I hope I'm able to provide something like that for you guys. I really hope that you guys, like that. So, but with that being said, again, go check out everybody I always promote, guys. Rip Curl, Mark Pyers, everybody I always say, Ron from Emergency Management Associates with the earthquake data. Mark, if you want a good laugh. Rip, if you want some good prepping information. And there's a lot of others out there I haven't even mentioned in a while. Like Wayne, Watch with Wayne. He does a lot of, he does a live stream every day showing live cams from around the world and stuff of situations that are going on. Okay, he has other stuff he adds into that too. But Watch with Wayne, go check him out. And I wish I could say everybody's name all the time, but I can't. It's just too much. I can't. It would take up way too much time. So I really hope you guys understand that. But I just want to help build the community up, and that's kind of the goal here. So anyway, guys, God bless. Yahusha saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.